Hello and welcome to another video of Eternal Gains. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you today to my so-called round trip strategy. Round trip, you will understand shortly why it's called round trip. The goal of this strategy is to leverage your money in the most responsible and most efficient way possible. Of course, there are many degens out there, they just gamble their whole balance on one, possible 100x coin or whatever. But most of them are going to lose it all in the long run. So that's not my cup of coffee. What I'm after is long-term mid-risk strategies, mid to long-term mid-risk strategies. This is basically more low-risk strategy, but it allows you to leverage your money and ultimately make a better gain. We will need two protocols for that, Trader Joe and Abracadabra. I'm here on the Abracadabra website, and this is actually a pretty cool protocol. You can do staking, farming, and even swapping, bridging, and all of that. But what we are interested in today is borrowing. Now, as you can see, I'm on the Avalanche network. Why? Simply because of the fees. Because unless you have really a big bag, it's not worth it to do this strategy with Ethereum, because the fee is just going to eat you alive. So I wouldn't recommend you to do this unless you have really a big bag to play with. Now, let me walk you through what we're going to do. The first thing what we're going to do is we're going to borrow MIM. MIM stands for Magic Internet Money, and it's basically a stable coin. So one MIM equals $1. So we're going to borrow MIM against our AVAX. You could also use any other token which is in here. You have this is an LP token, you have VMEM, and you have XJoe. But we're going to do it with AVAX. So you put your amount here, what you have, what you want to, you have to click this use AVAX if you didn't wrap it for wrapped AVAX yet. So as you can see, I already did all of that. So I just have a little amount of AVAX left for you for demonstration purposes. Of course, all I'm saying is not financial advice, usual charang. What you're going to do is, first of all, you choose the amount you want to use as collateral. I use pretty much everything. I just left a little bit here for gas. And then you choose the amount you want to borrow. Let's say I would like to borrow 10 MIM against my 0.6 AVAX. Now, AVAX right now, one AVAX is worth 135 MIM, which equals 135 US dollars. So we're talking about like a bit more than 60, 70 dollars, something like that. This is worth. So I'm borrowing against it, and quite handy is this one here. So you can say you want to borrow 25% of the possible amount what you could borrow, or 50, 75, or even 90. But now comes the important part. You might think, oh, nice, I take 70%, why not? Right? Let's be efficient. But no, it's a very bad idea. You see this little indicator here, which says safe. If I go to 50%, it says medium, and if I go to 70%, it says high. What that means is basically the risk level. It's the same like leverage trading on exchanges like Binance and so forth and so far. If you leverage too hard, then of course the risk of getting liquidated and the risk of losing your collateral is pretty high. So I would not recommend doing that. I would always recommend to keep the level here higher than 45%. Now in my case, since I already posted collateral and I have still a lot of MIM left to borrow, if I put only 20 and I add more collateral, then obviously in my case there's not much changing here. So if I would not add any more collateral, because I already have some, and I would say, okay, let's get the MIM what I could borrow, right? So let's say I would like to borrow 1,600 more. So now you see how things get shaky, right? First of all, the indicator says high risk. My expected liquidation price is 133. The price right now is 135. So just a little move in the price would basically liquidate me, and all my money is gone. I mean, not the borrowed money you keep, but still my collateral is gone and the whole strategy wouldn't make any sense if you do it that way. So what I could do is I could say, okay, I would like to borrow another 200, for example, right? Now my health is 54, it's nice. My liquidation price is 63, which is fine, you know, and I could go ahead. So for demonstration purpose, I will just borrow $200 more. So you can see the process. Of course, for the full day degens here, you could also use leverage, but this is really the last thing I would recommend because you will get burnt for sure. It's just a matter of time. Don't use leverage. That's I think a lesson many people already learned, and if you didn't, then just trust me, don't do it. Okay, now in your case, you put your collateral, you put your borrowed amount, and in your case, it will say post collateral and borrow, right? So let's go here to Max. It will say add collateral and borrow, and you will have two transactions. In my case, since I already posted the collateral, it's only one transaction, right? So let's go here. Let's take 200 MIM, say borrow. Okay, interesting. So this can happen. In this case, what happened is that they offer always a certain amount of MIM, what you can borrow, and this can change. So in this case right now, you see it's saying 0. So you always have to, because they are in high demand, those MIMs to borrow, so you always have to have a look at the amount. So if you would take this one as collateral, then you had still 18.35 million left to borrow. If you would take XJO as collateral, you would have 196 MIM to borrow. So either way, just come here, make sure that there's something left to borrow, then you do the steps what I just showed you, and then you will get MIM in your wallet. With your MIM, you come over here, and you will trade your MIM for Joe, right? Joe is the native token of this exchange, Trader Joe XYZ, and this exchange, or DEX, is the biggest DEX on AVAX so far. So the potential to grow for this thing is huge. And I'm using it quite a bit, and I'm very happy with it so far. Of course, always do your own research, do your own conclusions. Don't just ape blindly. But that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm showing you. So now you come over here, you take your MIM, what you just borrowed, and you swap it for Joe. Okay. Now, if you have done that, you come over here to stake. You can see I already have done that. You will see this in a second. But what you want to do now is you're going to stake your Joe for XJoe. And in the last 7 days, the API was 24.78%. And then the next step is you're going to come over here to the farm. And handy enough, they have an XJoe farm. So you will get XJoe in return for your Joe. In return, if you stake your Joe, you get XJoe in return. And then you come over here to the farm, and as you can see, I already staked mine. So you will stake your XJoe in the farm. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Because now basically you have a full round trip. You went from AVAX to Joe to XJoe, and to complete the round trip, you could come over here. Instead of putting it in the farm, you could also come over here, put your XJoe in here, and borrow more MIM against it. And then with this MIM, you could buy AVAX, for example. Yeah. But again, always be careful. There is, of course, a risk in this, and the risk is if the price of AVAX in this case, because that's the collateral we started with, would drop significantly, then you might get a problem because, of course, you have to pay back your loan, first of all. Secondly, when the price of AVAX is dropping, then those ratios over here are going to get worse for you, right? And in the worst case, you could get liquidated. And that's why I always say don't go too crazy with the liquidation price here. Make sure you have enough buffer for volatility because, as we all know, crypto is volatile, but of course, DeFi is even more volatile. So, you know, don't be stupid. Just play it safe. But what have we done so far? So what we did, we took our AVAX, we used it as collateral, we borrowed MIM, we took the MIM over here, we bought Joe for the MIM, right? Then we staked our Joe for XJoe, which gives us an extra API. And then we came over here to the farm and staked our XJoe, which already generates an API, into this farm, which gives us an additional 30% APR. It's absolutely insane. You can see here right now I have just a little amount because I just harvested already, and it will give you now always rewards in Joe over here. What you could do then is take this Joe back to staking, stake the Joe what you got as rewards, get more XJoe, and put this more XJoe into the XJoe farm. And I think now you understand why it's called round trip. Basically, you're taking your money and you're leveraging it, and you get the best out of it. Okay, guys, if you have any questions on this one, just let me know in the comments. Of course, like, subscribe, and I'm going to see you in the next one.